Hi, I'm Craig the Geologist, and in several previous videos we visited Cliff Mine, the most accessible, public, and free tailings pile in the Midwest, and the most convenient place to find native copper in the whole world. In this episode, though, I'm bringing you to Cliff North, which is much more remote, much more difficult to access. It holds an almost mythical status among rockhounds for having the most spectacular pieces in the whole of the Keweenaw out there. Well, let's find out if it lives up to the hype. So come join me as we explore the Cliff North tailings pile. Now, the road up to Cliff North is a rough one. You should only attempt this if you have a high clearance vehicle. First thing we're going to do is ford a shallow stream here. Sometimes the water's a bit deeper if there's been a lot of rain, but generally pretty much any vehicle can make it across that. However, the road gets a lot rougher as you go. Whoa. Yep. Is everybody okay? This is a bit of a steep climb. I believe this truck I'm in is two-wheel drive, but if you really want to tackle this with confidence, I suggest you come up here with a four-wheel drive. we picked up some hikers. Hey, want to ride? They said sure, so here we are. And the more the merrier. This Ford Ranger I'm in has pretty much what I consider to be the minimum clearance to safely handle this road. Anything about an inch lower to the ground, and you're going to be hearing a scrape and a crunch every once in a while. All right, well, I'm up at the Cliff North Overlook. No rocks to collect, no rock hounding here. The tailings piles are nearby, but it does have a gorgeous overlook, as you'd expect, of the entire region here. So let's appreciate that for a moment. The view from up there is absolutely spectacular. Now, I have edited out some graffiti that's on the rocks I'm standing on. There's quite a bit up there. You find that in a lot of rural areas, unfortunately. But the panorama is spectacular. Taking a drone's eye view out there, you see the beautiful wetland that the Cliff Mine tailings pile was unfortunately dumped on top of. Today it presents a bit of a hazard for people trying to get across it, go to Cliff North or the Cliff Cemetery, or just trying to reach the Cliff Mine tailings pile across that rickety little bridge. This is the Cliff Mine tailings pile from the sky. We'll call it Cliff South since we're on Cliff North today, but this is the easily accessible spot. Here we are looking at Cliff South head on, and you can see Cliff North on the cliff face where they just dumped the tailings piles right over the edge. The Cliff North tailings piles, as you can see, have been partially reclaimed by forest. So what you see is a patchwork of tailings piles, but in fact, it's more or less continuous among the trees. It's just that the higher parts have less trees on them because there tends to be more rock slides. Well, I am up here at Cliff North now. It is a complex little area of tailings piles that stretch out quite a bit. I don't know. I'm not great at estimating area, but I don't know, 100 acres or so. There's a lot of them here. Maybe from the sky they look small, but once you're on the ground here, they're good size. Now, among geologists and locals, Cliff North holds a certain mystique. It is this almost mythological, mystical place where every single mineral that has ever been found in the Keweenaw or ever been dreamt of being found in the Keweenaw has been found. Azurite, malachite, gorgeous, beautiful specimens. It's a tailings pile. It's a nice spot, but you know, leprechauns aren't riding unicorns here every night to drop off museum quality specimens for you to find if you make it out here. It's a pretty awesome spot to visit. It's hard to reach. And that probably adds a lot to the mystique of it. It is big. It holds a certain status, being associated with the oldest mine in the area. But there's nothing all that amazing about the there's so many frogs here, about this this tailings pile. Don't believe every myth. If what you've heard about this place sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But this is a pretty awesome spot. And to be fair, the largest greenstone I've ever found came from here as well. But I just want to show you here, as I've been walking, this little pond is completely full of frogs. These cute little guys have been hopping along here every step I take. Except you are surprisingly chill. What's your deal? You guys gonna hop? Some of these tailings piles are extremely steep. It requires quite a scramble to get to the top of them and a bit of skill not to fall off of the top of them. What have we got here? Got some nice calcite, or possibly quartz, I'm not entirely sure. Running through rhyolite there. Oh, and here we've got some nice epidote. Love it when this selfie stick automatically does that. I'm sure it makes for a real smooth video. As mentioned earlier, the epidote comes from the hot water that moved through these rocks, depositing the copper. It cooked the basalt and turned some of the minerals in it to epidote. There's one slope here in particular that is extra fun to climb. Not because you find amazing material on it, although I have found some nice little prenites and whatnot up here. But when they set this tailings pile here, I have to assume this chimney here, which was probably used for airflow, must have been out of use. because they literally dumped the pile straight into the side of the chimney. Now, the first time I ever came up here, I came up this slope. I don't know if you can tell how steep that is from this video, but it very nearly killed a version of me that was 5 years younger. You wouldn't find me doing that now. But you do get an awfully nice view of the treetops. You're not seeing straight to the coast or anything like that, but it's very lovely here. You do catch a nice breeze. There's no shade, but that's made up for by the lovely breeze that'll cool you down after fighting your way up here. Now, I have been down there and down around the base of that chimney. I don't know if chimney is the correct term for it. It may have a different name. There are other ruins down there. However, no matter what path you take down there, and straight down here is the absolute worst path you could take. I mean, that's at the angle of repose. So, you know, it's angle of repose is the maximum angle that rocks and debris can be at before they landslide. So all you can do is kind of control your fall as you go down there, and you're going to be having rocks fall on top of you as you go. I don't know if you can see in there between those trees over in that direction there. There is a rock wall, and there are a few buildings broken down in about the same state as those down below at Cliff. If this is Cliff North, I guess you could reasonably call the other one Cliff South, but it's just called Cliff. There's another wall there. Well, I mean, that's a better example. You can see they literally just dumped the tailings onto that building. So obviously there's a period of time where they were dumping tailings here, and these buildings were no longer in use. Talk about being lazy, or, you know, rather than calling it lazy, call it efficient. I don't know. Dump your tailings as close as possible, and if there's buildings in the way, well, are we using them? No? Yep. Go ahead and bury them. There's likely to be quite a few buildings that are underneath this tailings pile. I don't know that. I don't know whether anyone has records of that, but based on the partially submerged buildings, I would say, yeah, probably there are structures that are underneath these countless tons of rocks. Yeah, that's the wall running straight up there. But my family's eating lunch in the back of the truck right now. Let's head back and start picking some rocks together. The trick to going down a slope like this safely is to do it slow enough that you're not out of control, but fast enough that you're not fighting gravity too much, and you're kind of controlling your slide down. Whew, just like so. Now when I come collecting out here, I tend to leave my metal detector behind because of all those stories of the exotic minerals that have left an imprint on my mind. I'm always looking for those, and those don't ring up the metal detector. The metal detector doesn't detect those. I leave my copper hunting for other locations. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe everybody does that. Maybe there's a ton of copper just beneath the surface here waiting to be found with a metal detector, and nobody's metal detecting out here. But I'm gonna do what I always do. Leave my metal detector behind today. Maybe next time I come out, I'll try it out. And we'll see what we can find. But as mentioned, the biggest greenstone I've ever found, heck, that I've ever seen in my life, and I'm including pictures on the internet, came from here. So in fact, it came from right down this little valley, I believe. Let's go have a look. All right, well, we're gonna go down into this little valley here, mostly because it is less steep than the others and seems a bit safer to bring my family into. Let's see what kind of minerals we can find in here. I see some already. What we got here? I'm not sure what we have in there. Sure, yeah, I'll show it to you, Joey. There might be some agate style mineralization in there. All right.
That's copper.
Oh, well, there you go, Joey. Joey just found some copper there.
First copper I found was on a metal detector.
Well done, buddy. You're getting good at this.
Yeah, I just saw the color of the copper and I see it a bunch of times. I saw the color, I picked it up. And it is copper.
Have you ever seen pictures of the Statue of Liberty, Joey?
Never my whole life.
You've never even seen a picture of the Statue of Liberty?
I've only seen it in games.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that. Anyways, it's made out of copper, and it's that same green color as what you're going to be looking for. Well, I'll have to... A little bit like that. Not quite. It'll be a little bit more bluish green than that, but yeah. Just be real careful. Pick your steps well. Oh, what do we got here? Okay. We got calcite with some slick inside, maybe serpentine style minerals on there. Slick insides are associated with faults. It's a texture you get on rocks and minerals where there's been a fault and the rocks have slid past each other and generated a ton of friction, a lot of heat, and they remineralize and create a fairly slick surface where the grains are elongated and aligned with the direction of movement on the fault, and they're called slick insides. By the way, this is quartz with a bit of green prehnite on it. All right, and Joey, why don't you show me the rock you were curious about?
Yeah, this like the thing that the made copper over there, is it copper?
This is not copper.
What is
This is a green rock. It was the first rock you were ever able to identify as a kid. This is epidote. Ooh, and look at that smooth surface right on there.
Yeah.
That's another, I don't know if that's from a vein that water was passing through or if that's from a slick inside. I don't see slick inside structures on it, so I think that was perhaps a vein surface where water was flowing through a crack and mineralizing. But I really like that.
Yeah. I just saw that popping out of the corner of that mountain, grab it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the big pathway.
Oh, wait, I see something poking out right here. Look at you. Big, that was a little smaller than I was hoping for, but piece of calcite there. All right, well, we won't go down the real steep part. And we won't go up the real steep parts either. We'll stay safe out here. Got some layering in this piece. We're looking at here, we're looking at mostly quartz with a little epidote, and there could be prehnite mixed in there. Looks like a complicated sandwich to me. Would you like to see a sandwich rock, Joey?
Whoa, sandwich rock.
Sandwich rock, do you want it?
What I just now saw.
Do you want it, or should I leave it here?
You can leave it here.
Okay.
Daddy,
Uh-huh.
what I just now saw.
What did you just now
I
see?
just saw an ant carrying a dead spider.
Wow,
That
that's a
ant,
lot of work.
the ant oofed a spider.
Oh,
But it was also a tiny one. It was about it was about as big as him.
I see. All right, so this is a another vein here of, looks like probably prehnite with a bit of calcite and maybe some quartz mixed in. But I thought I saw just a moment ago, somewhere over here, a bit of Isle Royal greenstone. Is this, that was not, oh, here it is. Now it's very rough here, but we're looking for green chatoyant sprays of crystals that radiate out towards the center from the edges. I don't know how well it's being picked up here, but that's definitely greenstone. And the other bits in here, oh, here we go. See, I said it before, where you find one, you usually find another. There you go. Isle Royal greenstone. Very much not on Isle Royal here, on the Keweenaw Peninsula, where it's totally legal to collect. I'll take that home. Hey, all right, you be careful up there, though. I don't want to catch a video of you sliding down and then have to show this to the doctors at the hospital to explain what happened.
Hey, what's this?
Let's see, is this more? This one here is not greenstone. This is chlorite in there. Chlorite, and this chlorite here in the center has a bit of quartz in it, possibly calcite, giving it that kind of crystalline, shiny look. What did you want to ask me about, Joey?
I got a rock that I didn't know what it was, but I also dropped it.
Oh, okay. Well, that happens.
Yeah.
That calcite there, and nice piece of epidote, big piece of epidote here.
How rare is that?
It's not very rare, but it's cool to find. I like the green rocks, honestly. I'm really partial to the color green when I'm looking for rocks.
I'm okay.
Now, you also find a lot of this out here. Lichen. This one up here, this guy might trick you into thinking he's a mineral at first, but that's also lichen grown. Lichen is a geologist's worst enemy. We don't like the lichen because it grows on the rocks. It covers up the rocks we want to look at. It also frequently tricks us into thinking we found something really cool, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's lichen. Well, that's a nice green rock.
Yeah, I found it.
I like that one. It not only has epidote in it, but it's also got quartz running through it, and little bits of copper too, for sure.
Oh.
So very nice.
3 types of ores.
Yes.
Tiny bit of
I'll take a look at the all the green epidote in that one. It's not the nice, clean botryoidal stuff, but that is a lot of green epidote.
I think it's turkey. Just make a little step. Sorry if one tiny little rock falls on it.
That's all right, as long as you don't kick a whole bunch of rocks on me.
I'm sorry, just tiny. Cool to have a nice little pink.
Here's another one of these little layered sandwich rocks.
found one with some nice pink in it.
Oh, nice.
What is it?
It's another piece of mostly epidote, some fairly crystalline stuff, and what might be feldspar in there.
How rare is that here?
Well, it's a little bit rare here. You don't find a lot of feldspar here like that. Not big feldspars. I've actually got a sad story, Joey. The sad story is this. At one of these piles, it wasn't at Cliff North, but one of these piles up here, I found the most beautiful feldspar specimen I have ever seen in my life. It could have gone into the National Museum in DC. I mean, it was spectacular. Perfectly formed crystal, like the size of my fist. And it had a little flat pedestal of epidote that it sat on, almost like it was glued there by an artist. It was beautiful. It was the perfect specimen.
Did you lose it?
Oh, worse than losing it. So I had a friend who was gonna put up an educational display at a mineral show. And I asked her if she wanted me to bring that piece. I was helping her out with that. And she said, no, maybe not that one. Because her thing was she's gonna be showing off rocks from Mars. And she's like, I'm not sure if we get those minerals on Mars. I'm like, okay, all right. But I was real busy, so I set it on the roof of her car and went about getting everything else ready. And then we got in the car and we drove off. Yeah, that mineral was still on the roof of the car. And we were driving about 60 miles an hour down the interstate, and all of a sudden we hear, like, I look in the rearview mirror and I just see the mineral exploding into 1,000 pieces on the interstate as other cars drive over it. I'm like, oh, that was perhaps the most beautiful piece I've ever collected. And to this day, I have never found another one like it.
At least I found that one.
So that's my tragic story of the Keweenaw feldspar. Came from somewhere up around this area. I don't even remember what mine dump it came from. I think it came from the southern Keweenaw somewhere. But yep, that was gone in an instant. Tragic stories from a geologist. All right, here's a bit of rhyolite, or perhaps some red altered basalt. I suspect it's actually a basalt that's been altered as such. But have a look at all the green in here. So most of that looks to be chlorite. It looks to be fairly weathered. There is some bright green stuff that's not lichen, at least mostly not lichen, but is crystalline epidote. But then, have a look at this big guy right here. You'll see those chatoyant sprays of greenstone here. So it's a little bit unusual because where you find one greenstone, you expect to find greenstone in a lot of the other stuff. This guy seems to be greenstone just here. All the surrounding ones, they I don't see greenstone. Maybe that top one, there's the tiniest little hint of it there. What about on the other side of this? Yeah, really not seeing anything. But yeah, right here, it's weathered. You wouldn't be able to make anything out of that if you dug it out, but you can see those nice sprays of greenstone running right above my thumb there. Actually, this piece very nicely illustrates the different green minerals that you get in the Keweenaw. So let's take a closer look at that. Let's begin with the bright green you see in the rind, the outer edge of this amygdala up here. And you'll see that in several other places here. That is a very crystalline form of epidote. It's very high quality epidote. Here in the center, you see some green glassy prehnite. You'll notice that's a lot glassier than the other minerals. The dull green you see a lot of here, that is chlorite. Chlorite is very common in the Keweenaw. It is a bit of a decay mineral in many cases, so it's not very desirable, but you do see it in a lot of places. You can contrast that dull green with the glassy green there with the prehnite chlorite. Now when it gets darker green, it starts to become something else. And this real dark material here, you're starting to see some botryoidal character in it, some chatoyancy even, some fibrous nature. That is the Isle Royal greenstone. And that's a real desirable gemstone. That's the Michigan State gemstone that everybody's looking for out here. Ooh, wait, hold on. What have we got here? I see greens with suspect pattern. Well, this is a bigger rock than I expected, so I probably won't bring it with me. But what have we got here? We got an intact nodule right there. We got intact nodules all over here. And where it's really cleanly broken, we see that greenstone patterning in there. But it's big. It's a lot of rock to bring for those little guys. I'll see if I can break that with my rock hammer and get something more manageable. All right. Okay. You be careful because I'm going to be working on something here, so I can't pay close attention. All right. I'm going to try to avoid these nice nodules because I'm not sure exactly how this rock will split. And I'll try to shatter this guy right here. Well, some of the greenstone just went shooting right out of there. It wasn't a great nodule anyways. So I'm gonna be a little less careful as I work this rock. Come on. What do we have here? Well, we got more intact nodules. I'm not sure there's anything good enough inside to bring home though. How about this one over here? Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this guy here. Oh, okay. Joey's bringing me another rock here. What do we got here? Oh, we got another epidote rock. See, you like those greens same way I do. Epidote with some quartz running through it. Very nice.
Picking up some nice ones.
You sure are. Ooh, what's this? I was just picking up my stuff and getting ready to go, but look at that. We got kind of a druzy.
Look what I found.
Got a druzy layer here. Oh, that's the same one I was showing earlier. Well, why don't you hold it up for me here, Joey?
That's the sandwich my dad found.
All right,
I found it.
the sandwich rock. That's right.
I'll actually keep it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let me explain it to the folks at home first. So, what we're calling the sandwich rock. These form because of the way the rocks were altered. Hot water flowing through the rocks cooked these rocks, and where they flowed through cracks, they deposited the water deposited minerals like copper, but also a lot of quartz and perhaps prehnite, things like that. And so you get these layering and zones. Joey, I'm going to ask you to stop holding on to my arm. Thank you. You get this zoned layering in there where the alteration works its way out from a central crack going outward into the rock until you get to a spot where there's no alteration at all, right up here. All right, here you go, Joey.
I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, definitely keep it.
It filled up like 50% of my pocket.
You know what? If I put things in my bag, I will fill up my bag with rocks and I will go home with too much rocks. But if I put things in my pocket, I'll fill up my pocket and then I go home with a lot less rocks. And that's a good thing because I've got too many rocks at home.
Hey, Daddy.
Wow.
This one looks like snow globe.
Okay, it sure does. Nice. This one is something. This one's gonna have to go in my bag. This is prehnite. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm genuinely excited. Extremely excited. I am controlling the tone of my voice so that I don't scream at y'all here. These are big amygdales of prehnite. A lot of prehnite. Pretty awfully beautiful prehnite. It's shattered, so it's not botryoidal. But I was looking at the center there. I was thinking there were copper threads running through that. But in fact, the way it's catching the light, it may actually be silver. I'm going to take this home and I'm going to take a look at this under a hand lens maybe even a microscope, and try to determine whether this is silver or not. Could be, I'm seeing a bit of copper color in there, so I'm not 100% sure. Could be what we call half-breed, which is an unfortunate term. That's not one I care for, but that is the official term for a mix of copper and silver. Or it could be a very arsenic-rich copper. Those tend to be rather silver colored and often cause deaths in the mine. All right, I'm gonna search the area immediately surrounding where I found that in the hopes that neighboring broken pieces may have more of the same. I'm seeing this guy, and that's a big piece of prehnite also in there, with possibly threads of the same material. Although this is looking very black color. And that's got me even more excited. Now, why would black threads have me more excited? Isn't that boring? Well, copper oxidizes that blue-green that we associate with the Statue of Liberty, like I've said several dozen times, depending on how I've edited this video. But silver tarnish is what color? Do you know? Silver tarnishes black. That's promising. I'm gonna put that in my bag also. I normally wouldn't take a big piece like that just for the prehnite, but that's got silver in it. Silver has been something that I've always looked for in the Keweenaw and always failed to find. And if I'm finding silver right here with you on camera, oh, I'm super excited about that. There's another piece here I'm gonna pick up in a moment, but I wanna put this rock in my bag first. All right, let's have a close-up look at this awesome piece. First of all, you can see there's a lot of rough prehnite or prehnite-like material on the bottom here, with a lot of what I assume is copper, but could be something else scattered throughout it. Beautiful streaking veins of prehnite running all throughout this piece. Really gorgeous. Down here we see maybe some crystalline epidote, definitely some chlorite. But here, that's where all my attention is on this piece. The zoom on my camera isn't great, so let's try something here. We're going to use a hand lens, and we're gonna see if it'll work with the camera, and it comes into focus. All right, let's take a moment to discuss what we're looking at here. See that black little thread running through there? That black is oxidized silver, no question. This is a silver thread, and while it's not a lot of silver by any stretch, for me it's exciting because I keep looking for silver and not finding it. Here's another angle here. Let's take a moment to discuss what we're looking at. Here you see that black silver thread running through it, but you'll also notice some faint gold flakes just below it maybe. In fact, it's much more visible to the naked eye than it shows up on camera. But in fact, there is some dispersed gold in this. Now, not very much. There's more dispersed gold in the average piece of gravel in a Colorado driveway. But I'm excited to have it. I've found gold, copper, and silver today. That is the trifecta of precious metals. I don't care about the quantities. Don't get on my case about that. I'm just happy. Geez, I've got to say, this spot where I'm standing, within about a 1 foot radius, is just full of all sorts of awesome stuff. I think this is prehnite with the same stuff in it. I'm gonna put that in my bag and look at it at home. And, oh, and would you look at that? Can you see that? Is the light good enough to show that? Where are we at here? There we go. Right in the center of the screen. That's greenstone. Oh, you're coming down with mommy, all right. But then have a look at this piece here. This thing is absolutely loaded with Isle Royal greenstone. I might have to take this back with me. Let's look at those chatoyant sprays all over this thing. And some of it has pink thompsonite or zeolites in with it, which are really desirable. Got some broken ones on the side. Got stuff on the, not much on the bottom. But I think I'm gonna have to haul this big guy out because that is just a lot of Isle Royal greenstone there. And this might be Isle Royal greenstone with prehnite inside. Which I didn't realize prehnite could be inside of Isle Royal greenstone. Don't know if that's coming into focus or not. If it's not, I'll get a close-up of it at home because it's definitely coming back with me. You got some copper, huh? Let's see your copper there. Hey, what else did you collect from here? I saw some sparklies.
Copper.
Okay, yeah, a little copper. You picked up and then put down a real big sparkly rock. What's the deal with that? You don't want to show it off?
Oh yeah, I don't know what you did to.
Wow. Well, this is beautiful. I found a little piece of this before, but this is gorgeous. This is a botryoidal mineral of some sort. Could be chalcedony. I'm not sure, with a druzy coating of quartz.
Smaller
Maybe. You know what? I want to baby this piece. I don't want this going back in your bag. I want this protected, just in case those crystals are fragile.
I pick up this. I hope this is the iron too, but I can't tell because it's a green nodule there.
All right, so you've picked up this guy, hoping it's Isle Royal greenstone. You can't know unless they're broken, cut, or polished.
No guarantee.
It is not a guarantee, but it is worth taking home. And if we ever do any work on them.
The smaller pieces of the same kind of thing, but I think it's less strong. My bag is already broken. I put it in. Mommy.
All right, let's go back up to the car. I want to take some of these pieces back.
Mommy, I found my first piece of copper.
I'm going to throw this at you if you don't take it from me.
Okay. Are these good? This is just interesting. Oh. Like a lot
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's good or not.
Okay, well, I don't have enough hands to take that one too. But this one here, if I can get the light to catch it. You have to go back to Sophie, I think. This one here, that's got pink calcite running all through it. But it's a really granular calcite. It's very interesting the way those crystals have formed. It's a very sugary texture on this. All right, Chrissy, here you go. That's worth keeping also.
Oh, worth keeping also?
Yeah.
Cool. The pink thing keep breaking up in the back too.
Okay. These are 3 things that I need to take here. But I was finding a lot of stuff in just this area here. That was really, yeah. Is that another piece of prehnite here? Okay, this is another piece of prehnite. Now, compare that to the other one that had the silvery and black threads in here. This one has green metal coming out. This has definitely got copper running through it. But I'll take that as a comparison piece against the others.
Things like that is just a piece of crown there.
Oh! All right, so Chrissy found a piece of prehnite here. And she got a piece of the botryoidal stuff. Very broken. But you get that kind of round textured surface. But then also, if it properly focuses and catches the light, you'll be able to see how the crystals are actually kind of needly and radiate out from a central point, which would be up at the tip of my finger here. Very good find, Chrissy. Make sure it doesn't fall out of your bag.
Yeah, I kind of feel it might.
Try not to let it. What do we have here? In this rock, there's some very dark silvery material here. Could be chalcocite. It's probably chalcocite. Goodness. All right, this little zone over here, and wherever it was you were finding those, has been productive.
Yeah.
I think we're almost done here. As short as this day has been, we have.
It's definitely covered. They can feel the edges.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sharp edges.
There you go. Got some sharp edges on this, showing that it's copper. Here you go.
The keeper.
Yeah, if you want. It's good.
Wonder if you're melting it and then realize, oh, there's not much left there.
Oh, here's a nice little piece with lots of little amygdals of prehnite running through it.
But I used to have a piece of copper with inches because it was like hanging on a tree. But I think when I come down here, it might have broken.
Oh, that's all right.
But those are the minerals that broke up from the big piece.
Okay. Oh, here's a piece of the pink calcite right here.
So this is your bring back pile there.
Yeah, that's my bring back pile. Some of it's going to go in my bag. Some of it I'm going to hand carry up. I'm going to put the camera away when I do that. Tell you what, can you put that guy in your bag? Some of the same material, and I like it.
My bag is a little bit broken.
Some epidote here, perhaps with some prehnite right in this area up here. All right, I was already putting everything away when the wife's like, hey, what's this? That? Well, that's just kind of crazy looking. I'm not sure what we've got going on there. I would suspect that it's got a druzy coating of quartz on there. That's probably what's giving it the sparkles. What the blade-like crystals are, I'm really not sure. It's certainly a fragile piece though. We're going to be hand carrying this back to the car and putting it somewhere gentle where it won't get too beat up over the next couple of days of travel. Well, thank you for joining me out here at Cliff North and at Cliff. I haven't been at Cliff North very long. Heck, I think we've only been here a few minutes longer than the entire length of the video. But boy, did we find a lot. And I'm at a point now where I just don't think I can collect a whole lot more without giving myself back problems. So thanks for joining me. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time.